Hey there, it's Aaron, and it is a little after 11 in the morning on May 2nd, 2016, and I thought I'd make a video. I have got more music. Compared to the last video, it's more. It's a lot more. Uh, Again, I'm still trying to save some money, so there's that, but again, it's a good amount of music. So I thought I would show it off, and there are two CDs I want to talk about that I got recently, and then a third, which I think I forgot to mention. I think I got it earlier this year, but I never mentioned it. So, and these are all by the same artist. So the first two I want to talk about, they were sitting in the mail while I was recording the last video I uploaded. Those two albums are by Sabotage. Got Dead Winter Dead and The Wake of Magellan. Yeah. Now, Sabotage are a band that I talked about a couple of times on my channel. For those of you who are unaware, they are a band from, they're originally from Florida. Heavy metal band, very theatrical towards their fourth or fifth, Hall of the Mountain King, Gutter Ballet, just when they sort of drift off into getting theatrical, but still maintaining the heavy metal sound. And some people may not know them, but they probably know them under another name, Siberian Orchestra. I might make a video about Sabotage only. I have an awful lot of their albums, not all of them, but I just might do that. Yeah, these two albums, both conceptual albums, which was not, I mean, when these albums came out, 95 and 97, I know it says 98 for this one, but really came out in 97. When these came out, they had done concept albums before. They had done one called Streets, which is a great album. And I'm going to talk about these two and the other one, which I forgot to mention earlier this year, I'm pretty sure. So, Dead Winter Dead, this is a good one. The thing about, now as for the concept, it's a cool thing what they do here. In the booklet, they give you the synopsis of what's going on in the story, and then there's the lyrics here. And what the story is basically is just, it's a love story that takes place in the early 1990s, two countries at war, and I think it's a Serbian boy and a Muslim girl. They fall in love, so it's sort of a Romeo and Juliet, two sides clashing. But now, at times, this can be a little bit over the top, but it's a good album, really good album. And it was with this album that they were able to have. The next one is another concept album, Wake of Magellan, and this one is about an old man who's spent his life at sea from, I think I'm getting this right, it's about an old man who's a sailor, and he wants to sail away on his on a little boat or ship or whatever he's got, and let the ocean take him in, and he can die. But he comes across three people who were thrown off of their ships, each with a story to tell. It's an ambitious album, more ambitious than the other one, Dead Winter Dead. And it's ambitious when the booklet is... Okay, let me come in to the camera here and show you how thick that is. And what it's filled with is, well, you get, much like Dead Winter Dead, you get the story and the lyrics, and yeah, it's a great album. Great. I think I prefer this one over the other one, but they're both great albums. This is the last album that Sabotage released, so it's their latest album, although you can't really call it their latest album because when did this come out? 2001. 15 years. pretty long time. So this one is called Poets and Madmen. This one is about Kevin Carter, who was a photojournalist who took a picture, a very famous picture. Sure, if you just look up his, if you just Google his name, you'll find the picture. For those of you who know where, it's a picture of, I don't know the whole backstory, but it's that picture of this a dead like starving child just laying there on the ground, and a vulture right next to him or her. I don't know if it was a boy or girl. And he got a lot of attention over it. Some people praised him because the picture looked wonderful, but then other people thought, well, why couldn't you help the kid? So he didn't know what to do, so he killed himself. Very interesting story. You can learn more about him, but that's not what this album's about. It's imagined as three teenagers coming across, I don't know how they do this, they come across an asylum or a mental hospital, and they find Kevin Carter in there, and there's a folder next to him, and they read through it, and they find out his story, which is this album. So it's a little loose. I mean, the storytelling's it's a little all over the place. So I mean, there's a story with it, just like the other two. Read along with the lyrics. It's a good album, not as good as the other ones, but still good. Okay, now for the vinyl. It was on just Saturday, last Saturday, which would have been April 30th. I just decided to go on Craigslist because I had gone over to a yard sale in another neighborhood department, another development, and I was pretty disappointed in what I found, which was nothing. So, looked on there, let's see if there were anybody was selling any records, and there was this one. There was this huge one, and the key thing to remember in the Craigslist ad was that there were free records. So I asked my mom, "You want to go?" She said, "Okay, sure." Yeah. So we went over there, and then as we got into the car, when I was telling her what address to put into the GPS, she says, "Haven't we been there before? Isn't it that big sale?" And then I realized, oof, I think she's right. And she did turn out to be right. We went there twice last year. I went there during the summer, I think may have been June, and then the other time was sometime in the fall. I might be wrong there, but the fact is, this is my third time being there. But their stock had gotten smaller. Now, I got 4 priced records. 2 of them I'm selling on eBay. 2 of them I'm keeping for myself. And then 3 albums that I got for free because they were damaged in some way, or they were dirty. So I'll talk about the priced records first. First one I want to talk about, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis, This Boldest Love. This is the second album released by Jimi Hendrix and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Yeah, this is a good album. And with this, I have all 3 of the Jimi Hendrix Experience albums. So, yeah. And the last of the priced records, Michael Jackson, Bad. Really tempted to get this one because I already have Off the Wall and Thriller. Now, what do these 3 albums have in common? They're all produced by Quincy Jones. So I like to call it a trilogy. Yeah, it's the Quincy Jones trilogy of Michael Jackson albums. As for the free records, I try to keep my expectations low because, I mean, free, like when anybody says they have records, especially churches, no offense, when they say that, oh, we're selling records, and you look there and it's just a bunch of, worthless crap. But No, there was actually some good crap in the free records. I picked out 3, and 2 of them are by the same artist. One is another artist, and go in alphabetical order here. The first one is Burn, Deep Purple. It's their first album with David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes. 1974 this came out. Great album. I have this on CD. It's a very good album. Now, as to the condition this was in, I'm going to try showing you here. You see here, there's some water damage right here. And it was very dusty on the front and the back. So I just took a paper towel and just wiped it down, and it came off easily. So, yeah, it's a little water damaged if you feel around it. The record is not in any sort of inner sleeve, and when I first looked at it, it had dirt all over the first side, all over the first track, which is the title track. But I used the spin clean, and it still skips here and there, but it sounds wonderful. The quality is really strong on here. So yeah, I was able to salvage this one and clean it up. I do not have any inner sleeves on me at the moment, so this will have to do, and I know that once you clean them, you should put them in another sleeve, but it's cleaner than it was before. So, and the other 2 albums are by UFO, which I thought was strange. I don't know. I want to put them in the free records. Again, they had issues like the Deep Purple record, in that they're dirty, have water damage, and they're a little warped. But I got them because, well, they're free. And I already have this set by UFO. Like, I never knew where to start with UFO, but I became aware of this thanks to that metal show. If you ever watched that metal show, Eddie Trunk, I think UFO is his favorite band. Yeah, Chrysalis and EMI, they came out with this set, one of those budget sets, which I have said many times before. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. And they released this about 2011, I think it came out. Yeah. It's the Chrysalis years, 1973 to 1979. And what this has, it has, I showed this on my channel before when I got it. It has all these albums on here. It has Phenomenon, Force It, No Heavy Petting, Lights Out, Obsession, and live album Strangers in the Night. And there's some other bonus stuff like some BBC sessions, B-sides, single versions, and whatnot. So now they did release a volume 2 of this, which has, I think, another 6 albums. But the one that comes after Strangers in the Night, the live album, is this one, and then this one. So I decided to get them. No Place to Run is a unique album because of its producer. And this album was produced by the late, great George Martin. I didn't mention about George Martin passing away in any of my previous videos, I don't think. I mean, he lived a long life. 90 years old he was. I mean, he outlived a lot of the Beatles people and their management and whatnot. Yeah, great producer. And what he's not known for is that he actually produced other bands aside from the Beatles. He produced some Mountains by America, Jeff Beck. He did produce some of Paul McCartney's albums in the 1980s. And Cheap Trick, too. And then this one by UFO. This came out in 1980. And I was listening to this yesterday using the USB turntable to transfer it. And it's a pretty good album. Worth checking out if you're curious. And the last one I have is the follow-up to that album, 1981, The Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent. This one is considered one of their better albums after the ones in the 70s. I think with UFO, their better albums, or their best albums came out in the 1970s, And then afterwards in the 80s, they sort of, But I think for the most part they had a consistent discography from what I'm hearing. But this one is considered one of their best, I think. And yeah, I like this one. Very good. This one was very dirty in the front. As you can probably see here, it has some water damage there on the back. But I cleaned it with the Spin Clean, and it sounds wonderful. So, and it was already in a plastic sleeve, so that helps too. That's everything I've gotten. Probably not going to make a video in a while. After getting all this music, I felt like I needed to make another video. So, yeah, that's all for me now. So, I'll see y'all later.